click on the image to get started. We're going to click to get started.
In ABA, the verbal operants are functional units of language that help us understand how language develops and functions in different contexts. They represent the different ways that people use language. There are 6 main verbal operants: mands, tacts, echoics, intraverbals, textual behavior, and transcription. Identify the verbal operant by the antecedent or the SD and the consequence or the reinforcer of the verbal behavior. Let me show you what I mean. A mand is a request for an item, activity, or social interaction. The SD is the motivation for the specific stimulus being requested, and the consequence is receiving that stimulus. This is the only verbal operant where the reinforcer is directly tied to the SD. Let's look at an example. Morgan's mother just came home from a business trip. She walks in holding a giant teddy bear. Morgan is excited to see her mom, but she really wants the bear. Morgan says, "Can I have the bear?" Her mother hands her the bear. This is a mand. Morgan wants the bear and she requests the bear. She receives the bear, which makes her more likely to repeat this behavior in the future. That's reinforcement. The bear does not need to be present for Morgan's question to be a mand. Morgan also does not need to use a full sentence for this to be a mand. Morgan could say just bear, and it would still be a mand if she wanted the bear and the reinforcer for the word was receiving the bear. Mands can also be non-vocal. Pointing, sign language, PECs, or using an AAC device are all ways to mand for something. Identifying the verbal operant is about understanding the antecedent or the SD and the consequence or what reinforces the behavior. Teaching Mands requires understanding what the learner is motivated for, identifying how the learner best communicates, creating opportunities, prompting the communication, and providing reinforcement. Here are some ideas for building motivation and creating opportunities. Place items in sight but out of reach or in containers. Make old toys new and interesting by playing with them in new and exciting or interesting ways. For example, a folding table or slide can be used as a giant ramp for a car. If the learner likes cars, this will increase her motivation to ask for the car. Introduce activities that the learner can't do on her own or that require you to perform an action again and again, such as blowing bubbles. Give the learner only a part of what she needs to complete an activity. When giving her toys with multiple parts or edibles, give her only a few pieces at a time to create multiple opportunities to mand. Ask questions about attributes such as, what color block? Or do you want the big cookie or the little cookie?
So you can see this PSI also provides opportunities for a knowledge check. So what is the antecedent or SD for a mand? Seeing an object, motivation, or someone else's verbal behavior. So if I click on seeing an object, I'm going to get some feedback. Oops, that's not quite right. So then I can click and go back and I can take it again. If I click on the correct answer, I'm going to get different feedback. So the key to making PSI work is to make sure that you're giving feedback to the learner.